You ready, Nate?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Recording a brand new podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the Nickson and Nate podcast. He's back. The Uso's in town again.
Yeah, sorry for my absence on Tuesday. My cat Bo passed away. Don't want to get any deeper than that. I've cried enough. I didn't even think I could cry that much in my whole entire life, man.
I know what you're like. I mean, you even hate a hug. We hugged today. And I don't want to say anything because we might take the show in a whole different direction. But I love you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Special game on this weekend in the NRL
Final home game.
for Shaun Johnson.
Yes, it is.
He's a man who's made his mark in the game, and there's one person who has kind of seen him from his very infancy in the NRL to now, where he's about to say goodbye to the fans and to the game. His name is Mr. Rob Harris.
What's up, Robert?
Kia ora.
Also known as CookIslandKiwi, or the sign guy from Mount Smart.
He's pretty much been on every NRL, I would say, program holding some sort of sign over the years.
I reckon the cameramen try and search for you, eh?
May or may not be true, but one of them do follow me on Instagram.
They're like, Rob's
you
back.
get the sneaky little DM every now and again saying, bro, what do you got on? And we'll let you know when to put it up. But that's only been recent.
You've had some great signs throughout the years. Any ones that you were like super proud about?
Yeah, probably my most controversial, the one that said, where did all these fans come from?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's having a bit of a dig at the bandwagon. And
Yeah.
it was some good times. But yeah, the DMs were certainly flowing from some very angry bandwagoners that were like, we can't all afford to go to the game like you can. And the real response was, well, neither can I. I can't afford anything. But no, it's just, I mean, you get passionate supporters, some that are true day ones and some not so much day ones. But that one certainly got the juices flowing for everybody.
Yeah.
We've, we were thinking about which Warriors player we should bring on, to talk about the last game. Obviously, Shaun's got his own podcast with Brooke, and it's a mean podcast. But we thought, no, we'll get someone on that actually can say whatever they want on however they feel, which is why we reached out to you, because we know in the arena itself, when we're at the game, because I know both Nickson and myself have encountered you.
All love.
Yeah, it's all love now. Yeah. At the time, I was like, who's this bastard?
Because you can say some really mean things, man.
Oh no! As I said, it's all love. It comes from a good place. But I'm one of those people. If you come into our territory as the opposing team, or in some cases, Nickson, you're not even with your team. I'm not afraid to point it out. I think it's fun. It adds to the arena, to the vibe, and get to.
What's the moment where you did see Nickson at a home game?
Yeah. So last year's home semi-final against the Knights had great seats for a change. But there was one guy in the crowd that had a far better seat than I could. He was right next to the tunnel. I had to have a bit of an inspection. My wife said, "Was that Nickson?" And I looked down and I was like, "This guy, he's a Storm supporter. He's got the best seat in the house." So, just ribbed him a little bit, or maybe a little bit more than a little bit. And I was just giving it to him.
I'm going to say he probably talked more to me from 10 rows up than like Shaun would have talked to the players on the field at that time.
I was like a porphyry. It was like welcoming. Welcome to land. Welcome to country.
It was a baptism of fire.
Oh, exactly. And
Were the Storm playing?
No, it was the Knights.
Storm were playing probably that weekend because they're always in finals, but overseas. So I just couldn't quite understand why this guy would accept tickets.
I got invited. They were great seats. They were on the field.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to turn these down. But I knew what I was in for. I just didn't expect it to be that vocal. But after that, introduced myself to Rob and I was like, nice to meet you. And then we're good. Now we're here doing a podcast.
Exactly.
How hard is it being a Warriors fan?
Good question.
It's tough. Honestly, it's tough. It's we're probably one of the most polarizing teams ever in the NRL. Most would consider us the perennial underachievers. So it's tough. It really does test you emotionally, mentally as well. But there's tribalism in supporting a team, and I think New Zealanders as a whole, we actually need to kind of get behind not just the Warriors. Like I love the fact that you guys support the Storm and the Broncos, but we actually need to learn to get behind our teams and stay behind the teams. We're really good at just kind of going, oh, they lost, see you later.
Have you seen heaps of people throughout your journey? Like, have you been there since 95?
Not since 95. I was a 5-year-old then.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Sorry, I know I look the same age as you two, but not quite there. But I haven't been at the game since '95. Was attending games from about 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little.
It's a good 24 years.
Yeah, so it's been a decent run. Parents weren't too much into it. I kind of had to figure that out myself as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old.
Well, that's a true fan then. If that was you found that calling by yourself.
95, I'm at primary school, and I remember Stephen Kearney coming to our assembly, and like I remember just thinking, man, these guys are cool. And I live on Mount Smart Road.
No way.
So I'm down the road from the stadium. So the interest is already there.
Yeah.
But a 5-year-old don't have a job, you know. So he can't buy tickets. So when I was about 9, 10 years old, thankfully had a paper run. Although my older brother did most of the deliveries instead of me. But the money was coming into the bank account little bits, and it was kind of like, I might be able to afford tickets here, and started going along with family friends. And
Awesome.
And then, when I could, 2000 was the first year I bought a season membership, which was really cool as a 10-year-old to buy a membership.
Hard up.
Yeah.
And then, and just been going along ever since. So
No, I love that. That's passion.
But I think at 10 to 15 years old, as gentlemen, we make a decision on which team we're going to follow, and we live or die by it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
most of us.
I'll throw Nickson on a bus with the multiple teams.
No, I've been Storm for.
No, you've been Storm.
Like, I named my dog Billy after Slater.
I was talking more of the NFL.
Oh, the NFL, yeah, I switch and change all the time.
Oh, that's all right. It's a pretend sport.
Whoa, hey.
What?
Come on, man.
Hey, in this country, only women wear pads.
Have you watched those reaction videos of American NFL fans watching like Shaun Johnson's highlight video? It must bring you so much pride.
Yeah, 100%. Like Shaun Johnson can light up the arena, especially in his, what we would consider his prime. Yeah. Probably playing a little bit smarter now because the old legs don't probably step or move as quickly as they used to. But you watch some of that stuff and you're like, man, how fortunate were we to be able to witness that, especially from a Kiwi.
Yeah.
And you probably put Shaun Johnson not in the exact same limelight as Benji Marshall.
You
But
would?
in the exact same limelight, like Benji,
you give him his own.
Yeah, Benji was different. He lit it up early.
Yeah.
And it's like Jonah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put the likes of Caleb Clark or Julian Savia in the same line as Jonah Longman.
Didn't Shaun go to the grand final in his rookie year?
He did, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what Benji was 2 years out of his debut year before he got there. But he converted into something, he took that to another level. But Benji's, his trajectory, he went from being that flash guy and everyone expected him to be flash all the time. And then he learned to change his game to be a dictator on the field and move the ball around. And I think that's where Shaun got to, especially last year.
Yeah.
There were elements of still being able to pull off the step and the show and the go. So I think in terms of New Zealand players, Benji and Shaun are pretty close, but I probably just hold Benji just because he was a bit more of a trailblazer in terms of setting the standards so the likes of Shaun Johnson could.
Bronze, silver, and gold. Where do you put Stacey, Shaun, and Benji?
Stacey, Benji, Shaun.
Really?
Benji. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
Personal opinion?
No, yeah. This is why we're getting you on, because it's so good to hear from a fan who normally hates us. Not you as particular, but Warriors fans normally hate us. Do you reckon if Benji's only ahead of Shaun because Benji trailblazed in Australia? See, with Shaun, because Shaun kind of was dealt a hand in New Zealand, but if Shaun had started in Australia, he would. Do you reckon he would have been at the same level as Benji?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I remember when Darren Lockyer, his final season, when he retired, he was 2 games away from winning the grand final, but got his jaw broken. That was sad for me. I was actually he just, man, 2 more, one more game. He's going.
Yeah.
What's it like for you guys, or you and your mates, knowing that this is it?
It's kicking in.
Yeah.
It's kicking in. And it's, I'm only a year older than Shaun, so I've been lucky enough to watch him through that under-20s journey. Yeah. And when he was playing there, you always knew he was going to make that step up. A little bit small, but, you get into full-time training, you're going to bulk up a little bit. And so when you witness someone's journey from the very beginning to when it's coming to an end, it's quite upsetting. But I also feel for Shaun's sake and for the club's sake, it's come at the right time too. I feel like we're at that point we're going, hey man, you're giving everything for the jersey. And you've had, some interesting times there, especially the court of public opinion. Everyone's, he's this, he's that. He's going to do this. He should be doing this. But he's managed to go through that all. And so, as a real fan, I'm proud. But
But you're sad at the same time.
It's sad at the same time that it's coming to an end. But then it's exciting as to what's next. Who's next?
What sort of Warriors supporter are you? Are you one that is like very critical of the team or a player, or do you kind of just hold that in, like, or do you vocalize whose fault it was that someone lost the game?
Publicly hold it in.
Okay, yeah. But at home, your family hear about it.
Certainly hear about it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pastimes is after a Warriors loss, and then I go to the Warriors Instagram page and just read the comments. Oh man.
Yeah. Would you ever comment on the page? Have you?
I have commented, but it's usually replying to those people that comment.
Oh, okay. So you defend your team at all costs.
100%. At the end of the day, like, we're all human.
Yeah.
Like, there's having a crack, and then there's having a crack.
Yeah.
Some people just, they don't really know where that borderline is, or where to sit on that fence. So some people are just real stupid. They don't really think about the whole picture. You kind of just want to...
I used to kind of rack things up and then come there and go, as a Broncos fan, I would like to say this team played awesome. and then the Warriors fans were like, you don't know anything. And I just crack up.
but like there's some that you can tell are taking the piss.
Yeah.
Like
they want to.
Like you know that some are like winding people up, and you can tell usually by their responses back to the people that respond to them. But then there's some just absolute like piss takes.
Yeah.
Like some people, you're just so dumb. Like after last week's game, I saw someone mention something about, I think we need to make changes to the halves. I was like, we're on the farewell tour. Like, what are you talking
It's
about?
too
Like,
late.
the season's gone. Like,
You guys are quite tight knit. I know those of you guys that always go to Mount Spout for the home games. Do you ever like read some of those taking the piss comments and recognize some of the people that you go to the game with and go, oh, I know that person?
couple.
It's when you whisper in the ear, right? We're going to talk later.
You look at them, and then they're like, sometimes they come to you and they try to explain, and they're like, and you're just like, you're very cool. No one else could do that. Like, Chanel had his little issues with the goal kicking.
Yeah.
And people were going nuts about it. But yeah, he should have kicked him. But he's fourth string kicker in the team and doesn't train all week to do it.
Yeah.
And he gets put on the spot and like, hey, kick the goal. And it's like, I know Nate's still going to go, well, you still kick it.
Hey, I didn't.
But like 100%, like, yeah, we should have kicked it. But at the end of the day, were we prepared for it? No, we weren't. So it's kind of like you can get a gauge of should have.
Do you reckon there should be a team out there that isn't prepared for a kick?
Would you put your fourth string kicker ready to kick?
I mean, if you're in the string line, you should be able to kick.
I should be able to kick.
Yeah, next man up, man.
Yeah, next man up, 100%. But are you going to, like, if you've got 1 and 2 and 3 already on the field, ready to kick, and they've been training all week, the fourth string guy might be doing a couple of kicks at training.
It was just timing as well. Like, terrible run into that game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that makes it worse. It's like the icing on the cake. And people are just, emotions are heightened.
Yeah.
Probably symbolic of our season as a whole, though. Like, shit, we couldn't even do that.
Oh, yeah.
Last year was a great season for you guys, eh?
Good times.
Are you, as a Warriors fan, are you sick of hearing from other Warriors fans, it's our year?
No, I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
But like,
next year's
are
our
you
year.
like, it's like, I say this respectfully, but it's like you're believing your own lie. You know what I mean?
You have to. You got to pump up your wheels a little bit and go, yeah, next year's our year.
Okay.
I've all year up until last week when it was all mathematical chance had gone out the window. I'd been saying not our week, but still our year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, I feel like when you try and gas yourself up, you kind of put Band-Aids over what you need to be looking at.
Yeah, that's true. Band-Aids over bullet holes, but...
Like maybe, like, I don't know if, like, no one will take my advice anyway, but maybe we just, like, instead of it's our year, it's like, we're going to give it a good go this year. Like, maybe just start there and then you're setting the bar low.
That's from a storm guy.
And then when you over-exceed that, we celebrate.
Nickson, what's your thoughts on children getting participation certificates?
I'm just saying, like, it hasn't worked.
But neither is getting participation certificates.
True.
Or at least how I feel.
Oh man, I didn't even know what your team looks like next year.
Oh,
you got Aaron Clark.
Looks like he might be coming over.
Yeah.
I mean, we lose Shawnee. Adam's big loss going to the Sharks. One that I'm very upset about is losing Jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz Te Vanga. I
Wait,
think.
that was crazy what happened with that, eh?
What happened there?
Well, so I from what I'm led to believe, he's the heart and soul of the Warriors.
Yeah.
He is a definition of a warrior. Undersized, but gives it a full crack.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably just more of the way the club's heading, and it may be a case of the new guys coming through, the young fellas coming through. How do you squeeze them all in with some of the bigger names that we already have in the place?
But it was the way he announced it.
Yeah,
With,
but that's Jazz. That's
Adam
like,
Blair.
Jazz doesn't muck around. He doesn't want the limelight. Someone ask him a question, he's gonna answer you
just gonna say it.
truthfully. He's not gonna beat around the bush. So
Do you
what
know
are you doing next year?
what I love so much about Warriors fans that were so hurt about it, because obviously, there was big news, is that they were more concerned about him just dropping that bomb that he was leaving the Warriors at the end of the season than him using his phone while he was driving his car. They were more concerned about the Warriors announcement.
We all still do it anyway.
Nah, not me. I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, he's already had his 3 strikes.
More than 3 strikes.
But I mean, James Fisher-Harris.
Yeah, that's a good signing.
Yeah, great signing. But that's where our season kind of dipped off. As soon as we made that announcement, it kind of went.
Yeah, because you guys were on a high, and then that got announced. I was like, oh, more good news.
Yeah,
And
well, I
then-
was going, it's 2023 all over again. Like,
Yeah.
well, let's go, and then it just went.
I just want to go back to you, like you as a fan of this team, because honestly, like I get drained from going to like whatever game that the Broncos have in New Zealand. I'll go to that, and that's enough for me. Like one good game of Mount Smart, like you're there every week. What's the toll like that on like? Because I know your dad, husband or partner,
Yeah, dad, husband,
uncle,
brother.
uncle, full-time worker,
A lot of hats.
a lot of hats.
Yeah, different hats on.
How do you manage that with the family? Like, do they get pissed off and like, oh, can't you just stay home this one time?
It's just like if you want to go out with your missus, the best way to do it, instead of just leaving her home, take her with you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fair enough. So you've made her a Warriors fan, or was she already a Warriors
so when
fan?
we met, she was already a Warriors fan, but I
Good.
turned her into a season member.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's cool. This year she's had to cut down on the games. We've got a little 6-month-old. So,
Oh, congratulations, man.
yeah, it looks like her dad, so good thing.
Yeah. Future sign holder.
Yeah, future sign holder. So yeah, I've got 2 kids now, 2 little girls, and so they've got their membership sorted as well. I've got an older brother who's a special needs boy, and since I was having memberships, he's been coming along with me. So,
Nice.
so yeah, he's in my care. He's 18 years older than me, but he's probably more of the reason to turn up as well, because he's like
Passionate.
he's passionate, and as a special needs guy who's at home all day, he doesn't have many things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Wakes up in the morning, has his coffee, and does his thing at home. But
But it's pretty epic that he can look forward to something like that. And
so if I haven't watched NRL 360, he has,
Yeah.
and he'll mumble in his own little language to me, and I can decipher what he's saying. But
Did he have anything to say about Paul Kent?
fortunately, he doesn't see too much of the headlines outside of the show. He just notices some guy's not on the TV anymore. But he did a pretty good job of headbutting that tree. So, but yeah, no, having my older brother like every week sort of go, Warriors home game this week, it gets you up for it, and then he knows that the sign has kind of become a thing on its own.
Yeah.
So he's always on the lookout for people want to take photos, and the camera's coming, and he's looking at the big screen going, hey, you're on. So like it brings him joy, but it's not energy sapping when you're passionate about the Warriors.
No, and it's not energy sapping. The environment that Mount Smart can create, win or lose, like you got to give it props of how electric it can be in there.
It's sapping at the end when you think you should have won, and you're at the like this going. But
What happens if your daughters decide that they don't want to support the Warriors anymore?
I told both of them whether they understand or not, they can support whatever team they want.
Wow,
as long as
that's a
it's the
big
Warriors.
When you met your beautiful partner, it turned into your wife, would it have been an issue if she was a fan of anyone else other than the Warriors?
Nah, because I always wanted a girl that was into the sport.
Yeah.
And so she was hard out into it. So she's a massive Warriors fan. But at the time when we met, huge Sonny Bill Williams fan.
Oh, who wasn't?
But like I think even I was probably looking at him too. So she certainly had all of her Warriors gear, but she had the odd Bulldogs garment.
Interesting. Since you're playing those guys this week.
Exactly.
How are you feeling about that?
Yeah,
They've had a good
nervous.
season this season.
They're like,
Is the season over for the Warriors?
season's over for the Warriors.
I
We're-
was just double checking.
yeah,
You're sad, bro.
but at least we didn't get to the grand final and sitting out the 8 the very next season.
Oh.
So,
Do you want to let that sit?
I can't. Hey, man, those ones go too far. Those
Imagine
ones.
14 minutes away from a ring.
I'm about to put a ring on your eye.
But nah, dogs are going well. Dogs are going well. I've said it before. The Dogs of 24, the Warriors of 23. But Dogs have been really impressive.
Wait, say that again. The Warriors, the
Dogs
dogs
of 24 this year
Yeah.
are the same as the Warriors of 2023.
Oh, again, yeah, great.
It's been
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super duper improvement. They've taken a Penrith understudy coach and then started to build a team around what they actually want to have as an identity. And the Dogs this year, I think at the start of the year, everyone would have said undersized pack.
Yeah.
But man, they got some dog in them.
Yeah.
You know, they battle. So nervous for this game, but I think it's good at the right time for us. Like we've got the Shaun Johnson farewell tour, last home game. We're sending off Jazz and Adden. So I think for the occasion, the Warriors should be able to lift. And saying that, those good teams that make it into the finals, they usually have that one hiccup, that one speed bump.
So you're hoping that will be for the Bulldogs?
I'm hoping for the occasion and for the Bulldogs as well, that I'm hoping that the speed bump is now, 3 weeks out from finals, that they kind of go, ooh, there's something that we haven't quite noticed just yet. Because winning masks all your problems. You can have problems, but you win. Sweet, who cares?
I'm actually nervous for you now because I know what kind of points that the Doggies can put on teams, you know? And for it to be such a big occasion this Friday, if it does become that game where the Doggies put on 20 plus points, like just hearing you talk about how much it means to you,
Yeah.
man.
So my brother-in-law, massive Bulldogs fan. Love him to bits, and looking forward to the banter. And he's already said, "Hey, bro, I've got a sign idea for you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what is it?" He goes, "Put up your sign for your season." Wafafita. And I was like, bro, leave me alone, man. But I'm really looking forward to the game. But yeah, if the Dogs put 20 on us early, then yeah, it's gonna feel like real flattening. But one thing I guarantee, I'll still be there at the 80-minute mark. You support your team all the way through.
How you've been there since a 10-year-old, being a season member. The bandwagon fans, like especially when they go on that run, to the finals, and all of a sudden the corporates start giving tickets out to their mates, and you start seeing like breakfast radio hosts that support other teams on the sideline. Those sorts of people.
Those sorts of guys.
How does that make you feel?
Be honest.
Yeah. So there's a little part of it that's like cool because there's interest for the club, there's interest for the sport. Rugby league's always been little brother to the other sport, and so for me, it's quite cool when you get that shift over. The only hard part for me to accept is like, as fast as they come, they're just going to be as quick to leave.
So you got to stick around. Is that what you're asking?
I just feel like we need to be better as supporters or as people of like supporting something. Like,
Do you think the club itself does a good job of looking after you guys over those people that they invite, to be influencers and take photos and hang out at Mouse?
I didn't take one photo when I was there.
Hey man, I wasn't talking about you.
But to be fair, most of the time, is it the club inviting the influencers or is it the sponsors?
I was invited by a sponsor. Okay. Remember, we're not allowed. The club won't give us tickets.
I don't mind that. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
As a fan, would you rather people that do get invited have to start in the south stand?
Yeah.
And then
100%.
have to show their loyalty to then move to the other stands.
I would rather those corporate sponsors identify who's been in the stands from when it was empty.
Yeah.
And go, I'm going to reward you for your loyalty. I'm going to give, you know what, you've been sitting in the rain for the last 10 years.
So you can move up a tier.
Let's come and have an evening where we feed you.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
No, because I do know, and I'm not being a dick about this. I do know that the Broncos do that for their supporter base at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm being serious. Yeah.
No, but actually, funny story, because Mount Smart Joker?
Yeah.
Do you remember for ages, he was still buying his own tickets, but they were using him as the face of the Warriors, and the Warriors never gave him free tickets.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case anymore.
How is the also?
Yeah. Do you catch up with him much?
Yeah, catch up with a wee bit. So we're both proud Cook Islanders.
Yeah.
So we bump into each other at different Cook Island functions, mostly few beers in front, and there's someone dancing over there, but we're just minding our own business. But yeah, no, he's doing really well. It's always good catching up with him and catching up with some actual legit Warriors fans.
Because I've noticed some new kind of characters pop up every now and then, trying,
Yeah, who else is there? Because it's you. I only associate the two biggest, I wouldn't say mascots, but icons of the Warriors would be you and the Joker.
Yeah.
But then you do see randoms.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different randoms, and some of them they look random, but the reality is they've been there forever. I don't want to rattle off names because they might come after me.
It's Warriors fans turning against Warriors fans.
But no, there certainly are some people out there, like for the Joker, recognize there's the face paint, and so it's easy to identify. Me, just a clown holding a sign. Like if I take the sign away, I'm just a guy wearing a Warriors jersey.
Nah, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Nah, but the reality
Value
is
yourself.
Nah, but the reality is like, so the cool thing is for the Joker, when it's not game time, we can walk around and just be human beings, and some people will be able to recognize. Like I can certainly look at the Joker walk past on the street. I'll know straight away who it is. I don't need to see the face paint. And so we have a lot of fans that fit into that mold, but maybe they're just not face painted and got a sign in their hands. They're wearing the jerseys day in, day out. But because they don't have that thing that identifies them on the big screen, we kind of just look at them and glaze over.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, you can see the characters that come out. They're wearing something. They're doing something.
More so the guys that come out, and try to be something along the lines of a Mount Smart Joker or a guy that hold the sign, and they're like doing their own like supporter campaign pushes if they're running for mayor. And then as soon as the team's not doing good, you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, and so that's a little bit frustrating. That's a little bit annoying. Like that goes back to the point I was making. Like we need to be real fans, and so for that, it's a little bit discouraging as a real one, because there are some fans out there who don't dress up but are fans, and they're like, oh, look at these guys, they're getting all the attention on the big screen or on the socials, and everyone's going nuts about them, and what about me? I've been here since day one. I'm a day one since day one. So yeah, it's tough to juggle.
You're extremely hearty, and there's no doubt about that at all. You're hearty for the team. But be honest though, has there ever been a season where you're like, no, enough is enough, and then you snap out of it and you're like, no, I got to stay loyal? But has there ever been that slight little bit of a feeling going,
So when they brought Stacey Jones back? And you're like, sorry, they're just cutting off.
pull it over your belly button.
Put down. To be fair, there's always moments of frustration. Yeah. Has there been a moment where I've gone, stuff this shit, I'm over it? Nah. There's been games that I've been like, what the hell did we just put out there? Titans earlier this year. Storm a couple of years last year, a couple of years ago.
Or even just the most recent game at home. You guys are winning at halftime. Yeah.
So like, yeah, you have little moments of frustration, but there certainly hasn't been a time where I've just gone, that's it, I've had enough of this, because I must spend too much money on jerseys and stuff.
Have you got all of them?
Nah, not all of them.
How many do you have?
15, maybe.
Holy heck.
But they've got more than 15 jerseys? Yeah, true. Remember that one season they released 15 jerseys?
Yeah.
Do you have that one that they wore for Wellington?
Nah, I wouldn't be.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Is it
the Bush jersey?
The Bush jersey.
Oh, no.
What? the swan dry looking thing. So,
you guys are doing too much. I swear to God.
Hey, we got to commemorate every occasion and playing in Wellington. But there have been some. There's been some jerseys that I'm like, ooh.
This is the hunting and fishing special.
There's been some jerseys I'm like, man, hey, we got too many bright ideas going on over here.
Where do you go? Let's say, and I don't think it'll ever happen, but let's say New Zealand gets another team. Is it still the Warriors?
100.
Really?
Yep.
How many of the Hearty Warriors fans do you know would switch if there was another New Zealand team? Do you reckon many would switch?
Maybe those based in Christchurch or Wellington, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being stuck with the Warriors. My old man always said, like, when it comes to supporting a team, support your home team and then the underdog.
Yeah. What was your old man's team?
Didn't watch sport.
Oh, no way.
But he just had that.
His wisdom was.
Who do you support when it comes to international? Cook Islands or the Kiwis?
Kiwis, because Cook Islands don't get to play many games.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Greatest Cook Island player ever?
In any sport?
No, in rugby league.
Or right now, probably Joey Manu.
True, eh?
Any sport, koiatu, koiatu.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Sevens.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah.
minus a premiership.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want from your team?
Consistency.
Something easier.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we've been a bit too high here. Bring it back.
I'm sorry, I mean consistently winning.
So
Sorry.
what do you want to see from? Yeah, okay. So is it just consistently winning, which is going to lead to a premiership?
Yeah.
But I mean, if they were like, hey Rob, come in, like talk to the boys, like you have to give your expectation. It's consistency. Like, do you see anything that you know you could fix from the outside?
Keep our coach for more than 3 seasons.
Aye.
They'll keep Webby for a while, though, eh?
I feel like he'll be there for ages, eh? They found their guy.
They found the guy.
Yeah.
He is the next version of Ivan Cleary.
Oh, you reckon?
I feel like we dropped the ball when we lost Ivan Cleary.
I remember I was at a cafe the year that Shaun Johnson made his debut and they went to the grand final, and how he was having talks with someone there and he was really frustrated, and this was on Brown Street.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's when they told him that they weren't going to renew his deal or give him the deal that he wanted for security.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the biggest fumble in the history of the Warriors?
100%. They had those talks when the Warriors were sitting outside the 8, not knowing what was going to happen. And so, of course, he's looking for security. But the talks were progressing as we started bumping into the 8. We made the grand final and we let go of our head coach.
Would let's say he stays.
We get Nathan Cleary.
But is Nathan Cleary the same player if he's playing in New Zealand?
Under his dad, maybe still.
Because it's harder. You see some mean players in Aussie and then they come to New Zealand and it's like they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
They're just here to have a laugh.
I mean, that Panthers pathways,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. I mean, they're near the top of the table. They've won 3 in a row. Their New South Wales Cup side is always, consistently top 4. SG Ball, Harold Matts, they're doing everything right. So they've got the largest junior program to pull from.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that fix. And I think that's why during those COVID periods, we had Phil Gould here to come and fix things. But then he couldn't even get him into the country because of COVID. So
He's doing it on
ideal.
Zoom.
Yeah, doing it via Zoom. But he had a 5-year plan at Penrith. The only thing, it took 10 years to get it done. But now look, the fruits of his labour.
At least he had a plan.
He had a plan.
Yeah.
And so now he's gone over to the Dogs, and it's not going to happen overnight. That's the thing as fans and as anyone, you've got to be realistic about is
What year are you guys winning a premiership?
before I die.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
The whole reason we brought you in here, because we recognise that, Shaun Johnson means a lot to the Warriors, to the fans. And we thought, oh man, we got to get a hardcore fan in to kind of just talk about how much that means to you guys. And I feel like we did that, but we're going to sign off, but we'll let you have the final word.
Yeah.
As if you were
Right down
talking
the
to
camera.
Shaun. As if you were talking to him.
Sean. Yeah.
And what he means.
Sean, I just want to say thank you for the memories. Thank you for lighting up Mount Smart Stadium from the very days that you began at under-20s to your debut right up until now. We've had some good moments on the field as a club, and we've had some moments where the club's probably wanted to forget, aka letting you go to the Sharks. But you came back home where you belong. You set the world on fire last year. I think you were robbed of a Dally M, but that's up to Aussies to make those votes. But certainly the sidesteps, the short kicking game, the long kicking game, the standing out in the crowd and signing people's T-shirts and doing it for the kids as well. You have been an inspiration to the newest generation of New Zealand Rugby League players. One moment I'll always treasure, and it's going to hurt Nate, is that try against the Broncos in 2011, where it's not so much the solo effort that you did, it's the people that you beat to get to that try line, Sam Thaiday included. But these are moments that we'll get to treasure. And it's also a reminder to the kids these days, put your highlights on YouTube because you never know what's going to happen. Sean, you have been an absolute inspiration. If I'm to make a Mount Rushmore of Warriors players, you're certainly in the top 4. I put you next to Stacey Jones, Simon Mannering, and Manu Vatuvai on my Mount Rushmore. Sean, thank you for everything. Thank you for making sure that we were entertained at Mount Smart Stadium. Thank you for also being a headache. Thank you for testing my patience at times. As fans, we always have, expectations of our players, but the reality is you're just human beings and you've got to go home, and I'm thankful that you've been able to own that and also come out into the public and say, this is who I am and I'm comfortable with who I am. And I'm really proud of the man that you've become. Enjoy retirement. Enjoy your time with your wife, your 2 kids. And we look forward to what the pathway has in store for you. I'm sure you're going to still be involved with the club next year and into the years coming. God bless you, Shaun, and your family. Thank you for everything from one Warriors fan, representing all of us, not in here, but everywhere. Thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you've done. SJ7, who knows, we might find another SJ to go after. Stacey Jones, Shaun Johnson, and whoever's next. Take it easy.
I love that. Because in some points of that, it sounded like you were on the field with him. It sounded like you were at the number 6. You know, it sounded like, you guys were a team, a unit.
I mean, I look like Te Maire Mata.
Rob, thanks for being with us, mate.
Nah, thank you for having me, gentlemen.